You know what? I'm just gonna remove this screen so I won't be tempted to look at myself, because I'm very self-conscious still. Hi guys, I'm Louise. I'm an artist. You've probably watched some of them, you know, the videos about quitting Instagram, like the one I made back in October. And if you're anything like me, you get really fired up about these videos and strengthened in your decision to cast away the chains of social media once and for all. But then you realize that, I have a business, or I'm planning on starting a business, and how will people find me and buy from me, and how will I market myself? What am I supposed to do with all of that time that not hustling on Instagram will give me? Well, that's what this video is about. And it's not going to be one of those videos where I tell you to try Twitter instead, or try ArtStation, or God forbid, try TikTok. I know social media has its uses. I know that it works really well for some people, but this video is for those of us who are not social media evangelists and who do not really enjoy it and who have like a gut instinct that there has to be a better way, right? And so it's not necessarily about Instagram in particular. It's about the whole act of putting our career and our creativity in the hands of tech giants and algorithms. Instagram can be great. At least in theory. It's free, it's easy to use, everyone is on there. It supports many different ways of creating content, many ways of connecting with people. I love Instagram. In theory, you know, I love the idea of it, which is why I keep coming back to it, trying to make it work, and only to get really disappointed when it doesn't. But let's look at the big picture here. What is it that we're trying to do as artists and as creators? We're trying to show our art, make connections, you know, build relationships, and to grow a business doing what we love, right? That's what we're all trying to do. And for some reason, we believe that social media is the only way to do it. But you know, there are other ways. There is a more boring and sensible alternative for those of us who are a bit boring and sensible, who don't want to be like influencers and make reels for a living. So let's look at those options. But first, let's just remind ourselves why Instagram might not be in our best interests as artists. 2 primary reasons not to invest a bunch of time and energy into it. Number 1, it's completely out of our control. This has always been the case, and it's more relevant now than ever. It might feel like it, but you don't own your account. You don't own any of it. Your photos, your videos, your conversations. You don't know what will happen to it tomorrow or next month or next year. And the more time you invest into it, the more you rely on it in your business, the more vulnerable you are. Imagine having your account closed down for some stupid reason. It happens all the time to creators just like you and me. All of your posts and your videos and your stories and your conversations and your DMs and your memories, how would that impact your business and your life in general if all of that were to just be taken away from you? And how wise is it to put all of your eggs in that basket? And number 2, the game has changed. Instagram is not what it used to be. And even if we do everything that all of those experts tell us to do, it might still take a really long time for us to get anything back for our efforts. And it might never give us what we want. Even the really big accounts right now see dwindling engagement rates and lack of interest in their content. So it's not just you and me with our tiny little accounts, it's everyone. There are just so many people on Instagram, and the algorithm is a harsher gatekeeper than ever. There's a great article on Medium, and I'll link that in the description. It's titled "How to Know If Your Instagram is Actually Worth Growing," and it's written by Eduardo Morales. It's a really great read, and it really makes you think. So I recommend you read that. So now that we are on the same page about the risks of relying too much on Instagram, I know what you're thinking, and I've gotten comments like that on my previous video. But what else am I supposed to do, right? Where do I post my stuff? Where do I connect with collectors or clients or whatever it is you're trying to do? I understand that completely. I have felt the same way. And although I don't have definitive answers for you because I don't know you and I don't know your business and your goals and what you're trying to do, but I will give you a few general strategies that have always worked for me. Over the course of many years and many different types of businesses, the same strategies that most other businesses rely on. The boring and sensible way to grow a business, in art or otherwise. Number 1, have a website. If you're serious about having a career as an artist or a creator of any kind, you should have a website. It's that simple. Even though you could get by without one, especially in the beginning, there are several reasons for having a website. Aside from the obvious one that it's yours and it can never get taken down against your will, you own your website. You have complete control over it, the look of it, the functionality, the content, everything. No one will censor you on your website. The content on your website will be indexed by search engines and people will continue to find it for years and years after you've published it. You'll look more professional and you'll get taken more seriously. You can sell art on your website. You can have a gallery of all of your body of work. You could write a blog, or if you make videos like I do, you can collect them all and embed them in your website. Gather everything in one place. A one-stop shop for everyone that's curious about you and your art. And there's no one else there, no other accounts or ads, competing for your viewers' attention. You absolutely should have a website. How do you get a website and what should you put on it and how do you build it? I'm working on a video about that, so just stay put. Number 2. Have an email list. Yes, a lot of successful artists don't have one, and yes, the word newsletter sends shivers down my spine too, but hear me out. There are many ways to do email. You don't even have to, have an email strategy where you send out weekly letters and create freebies and any of that. Just make it possible for people who like you and want to stay in touch with you to put their email address on your list. That's all. I wish every creator did this. I wish my favorite authors had email lists and that I didn't have to go to their Facebook page to try to decipher what they're working on and when I can buy their next book. Or my favorite artists. I wish I didn't have to, check in on their Instagram page to see what they're doing. I wish I could stay in touch with them in a more personal and reliable way, even if that's just once every 3 months and not every day. Maybe especially then, Maybe what we need is quality communication over quantity, staying in touch in ways that don't burn us out, because aren't you feeling just a little bit burned out, both as a creator and as a content consumer? I sure am. Your email list is your number 1 most important asset in your business. No one can take your list away from you. Even if it's just 10 people on there, they're your people. They have decided to follow you. It's the one communication method that you can always count on. There are no gatekeepers and no algorithms, no stupid hoops to jump through to get your content seen. The people who are on your list are there because they really like you and they want to hear from you. They are the most likely to say yes to whatever you have to offer. And when you send them an email, even if they don't even open it, at least they have seen it. It has landed in their inbox and they have to make a decision what to do about it. That's not the case with an Instagram post, which is missed almost by default, or with a blog post, or with videos that require A, people to subscribe to you in some way, and B, for them to actually remember to check in and watch or read your content. I haven't been doing this particular thing, running an art business, for very long, so my list is pretty small, but I'm so grateful for it, I'm so grateful for my people. I view my email friends as my little VIP club, and I feel like I can be more honest and more of myself with them than I can be here out in the open where anyone can find me and judge me. I've started writing letters to my email friends a few times a month where I update them on what's going on in my life and what I'm working on, share links to resources or tips that have inspired me, and also gather up all of the stuff that I have published, new courses, new videos, so that they can get everything in one place and not have to check in on my website or my Instagram or my YouTube channel. And as a welcome gift to new subscribers, I have created a mini course that I've mentioned a few times in some of my other videos, like a Get Started with Watercolors little mini course, and it's been very well received. In my previous businesses, my email list has been the number 1 driver of sales. Not to mention, all the heartfelt letters that I've received from people all over the world just wanting to connect with me, just expressing gratitude for my content and whatever, you know. Email is magical. Get an email list. Even if you're just starting out, just get it, just to have it. It's super easy, and there are free options, you know. I use MailChimp's free plan right now, so it's not costing me anything. I mean, I can go on and on about emails forever, but if you're interested, if you want to know more about that, write me a comment and I'll make more videos about emails and email strategy and how to get started and what to put in your emails or anything you want to know. But now let's move on to number 3, and that is to do stuff out in the real world. I know we're just sort of emerging from this whole pandemic lockdown thing, but let's be honest, a lot of us were just as shy before this whole thing. It's insane and kind of tragic how much we overlook this, you know, getting out into the real world and meeting people face to face and connecting for real. I suck at this. I've always sucked at this. I'm a stay-at-home introvert. But back when I was a freelancer, at least I got out like a couple times a week to have meetings with people and like remember how to maintain eye contact. Now I only sit here in my room and draw and paint and make videos and courses. And I mean, that's fine for the type of business that I am building. But if I wanted to sell more art, that wouldn't be enough. I would have to actually get out there and meet people and talk about my art and show my art and make real connections. I haven't sold that much art so far, but like 99% of every painting I've sold has been either in person or to people that know me in real life. I think buying art is a way more emotional and sort of intimate experience than going online and shopping for pillowcases or clothes or a new phone or whatever. People like to know who they're buying art from. They like to, you know, see your face and hear your voice and hear your story and the story behind your art. And the more expensive your art is, the more of a relationship there needs to be, either between the collector and the gallery who sells your work or between you and the collector. There needs to be trust, I guess. One of my big goals this year is to, you know, get out more and show my art and to have exhibitions and to go to other artists' exhibitions and you know, make friends with other artists. Maybe, you know, sit at some outdoor nature fair and paint birds. Anything, as long as I can connect to people face to face. And yes, it scares me. I'm an introvert, I'm highly sensitive, I'm really uncomfortable in crowds in general. But I guess my urge to show my art and talk about my art and make friends is greater than that little scared voice inside my mind that just wants me to stay at home and stay safe and stay small. I believe that these old school methods of marketing and networking are becoming more effective than ever because we are starved for real world connection right now. Seeing each other face to face or hugging or just sharing the same space almost feels like a rare luxury at this point, doesn't it? Maybe we need more of that and not more pretty pictures and well-rehearsed elevator pitches and, you know, digital fake friendships. Look, I'm not saying it's all bad. Instagram might still be really useful for you, especially if you're like a tattoo artist or any other type of artist who relies on that type of, you know, social media connection. It is possible to build real relationships and to make sales over social media. Of course it is. People do it all the time. It's not the only way, and I hope I've made that clear by now. I hope you feel that you have options. And if you do decide that you want or need to keep using Instagram, then here's my advice. First of all, are you having fun? Are you having fun with Instagram? Do you like creating content for it? Are you getting at least some response on your content that makes it feel at least a little bit worth it? And if not, what changes could you make so that it would actually be more fun for you? Could you post less frequently? Try other formats on the platform, like maybe live streaming or, you know, creating more video content? Could you write longer or shorter captions? follow more or fewer people, don't worry about the algorithm or what the experts say that you should do. Think about what you love doing and what would make Instagram meaningful and worthwhile to you. That's the only way to make this sustainable. If you have to continually force yourself to do something you hate, it's never going to be worth it. And there are other things that you could do with that time that would give so much more back to you and not make you miserable. Second of all, back up everything that you post. All of your photos, all of your videos, all of your captions, if you write longer ones. Your account could get taken down at any time with no warning at all. Just Google it and see how many creators have had this happen to them. No female nipples or long rants about controversial topics, just regular people. I mean, this is what happens when algorithms rule everything. They misinterpret things. At least that's what I'm guessing the problem is here. Unless it's like a huge account and some trolls have decided to falsely report it as spam or something. I don't know. The bottom line is all of your hard work could just get ripped from your hands at any time. And you need to be prepared for that. So if you are putting a lot of time and energy and resources into your Instagram account, make sure to safeguard your content in any way you can. Download a backup copy of your account. I think you can do that. Save all of your images and your videos. Write your captions in another program so you have them saved somewhere else. And make sure your audience knows that you have an email list, because you should have an email list. And remind them of that often so that at least your most loyal followers can always stay in touch with you. And finally, have absolutely zero expectations. Just saying that makes me depressed. But that is what most experts say right now about growing an Instagram account, especially if you're starting one right now. It's gonna take years of hard work, and it might not give anything back to you for a very long time. It might not even feel worth it when you've reached your goal. It might not be what you thought it would be, which is why it's so important to not rely on platforms like Instagram to build your business or to keep it afloat. So are we clear about this now? Whatever you decide to do about Instagram, whether you quit it or maybe tweak your strategy or just business as usual, have a plan A. Get the basic infrastructure for a business in place. Get your website, get your email list, get out there into the real world and meet people. Show your art, talk about your art, do the boring and sensible stuff. If you haven't seen my first video yet about quitting Instagram, then here it is. That's when I explain, why I decided to quit Instagram in the first place. And there's a whole lot of ranting going on in it as well. I think you might like it. If you enjoyed this video, one way you can say thanks is by clicking the like button. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video.